Is it possible for a single TikToker to destroy the credibility of an entire community? Well, if that TikToker is Tix and Roses, the answer is yes. In February of 2022, a viral expose ripped through the internet, pulling the mask off a creator who had built an empire on lies. Overnight, Emerald Rose, once celebrated as a voice for disability awareness, was branded a fraud, accused of faking an incurable neurological disorder for fame, sympathy, and profit. The backlash was swift, brutal, and seemingly irreversible. Entire subreddits dedicated themselves to tearing apart every second of her content. Other creators with Tourette's were dragged into the storm, forced to prove their own conditions, simply because of Emerald's deceit. And worst of all, her own family stepped forward to confirm what many had suspected all along. From TikTok darling to one of the most despised creators on the platform, this was a downfall unlike anything the internet had seen. But how did it all begin? To understand, we need to rewind back to the rise of Tix and Roses. At first glance, Tix and Roses seemed harmless, even inspiring. Created by Emerald Rose, the account was framed as a raw, honest look into the daily struggles of living with Tourette's syndrome. Emerald claimed to have been diagnosed at a young age, and their videos showed them navigating everyday tasks while ticking, often laughing off the embarrassment that came with it. The message was clear: Tourette's didn't have to define you. You could live, create, and even thrive with it. And audiences loved it. By the middle of 2021, Emerald had amassed over 500,000 followers, cementing themselves as one of TikTok's biggest advocates for disability awareness. With that fame came opportunity. Emerald launched a merch line tied to their supposed disorder, turning awareness into a business. They promoted their side venture, a yarn dyeing company called Stardust Fiber Studio, and quickly converted fans into paying customers. For a while, everything was working perfectly. Emerald was seen not only as a creator, but as a symbol of hope and representation. Followers praised their courage, their authenticity, and their willingness to show the world what living with Tourette's was really like. To many, Emerald was a hero, but the higher they climbed, the more attention they attracted, and soon, that attention would shift from admiration to suspicion. As new videos rolled out, longtime followers noticed something strange. The tics Emerald displayed didn't always look real. They seemed too perfect, too convenient, almost like punchlines timed to the situation. One clip showed Emerald narrating nursery rhymes where every tick landed exactly in rhythm with the words. Another featured her driving, supposedly mid-tick attack, yet somehow still maintaining flawless control of the car. For viewers who actually lived with Tourette's, it didn't add up. Whispers of doubt turned into open criticism. TikTok comments questioned the authenticity of her condition. Reddit users began comparing clips, pointing out inconsistencies. And in May of 2021, an entire subreddit, r/TixandRoses, was born with one mission: to uncover the truth. Every past upload was scrutinized, every outburst dissected, and slowly a disturbing picture began to emerge. Emerald, the supposed face of Tourette's awareness, might not have Tourette's at all. Once the floodgates opened, the investigation moved fast. Redditors began pulling clips from Emerald's alternate accounts, places where the performance seemed to vanish. On her business page, Stardust Fiber Studio, Emerald spoke for minutes at a time without a single tick. In a podcast promoting her yarn company, she talked for over an hour, completely symptom-free. Side-by-side comparisons told the story loud and clear. On Tix and Roses, Emerald ticked every few seconds. On her other platforms, not once. The more evidence surfaced, the harder it was to deny. But the real smoking gun came when Emerald tried to fight back. Under pressure, she posted what she claimed was an official doctor's note confirming her Tourette's diagnosis. At first glance, it looked legitimate, but eagle-eyed viewers spotted errors instantly: duplicate diagnoses, awkward wording, and even a missing trademark symbol on the hospital's logo. The kind of mistakes no real medical document would ever have. It was clear the report was fake, and with that, Emerald's credibility collapsed. What had once been whispers of doubt was now a full-blown scandal. But the story was only just beginning, because the internet's biggest exposer was about to enter the scene. If the subreddit had cracked the case open, it was Sunny V2 who slammed it shut. On February 10th, 2022, Sunny released a video titled "The Scumbag TikToker Who Faked Tourette's for Clout." It went mega viral, pulling in millions of views within days. Sunny didn't just echo the subreddit's findings. He amplified them to a massive audience, presenting a case so airtight it was impossible to ignore. He highlighted Emerald's fake medical report, the flawless podcast appearances, and the suspiciously well-timed tics. But then came the final nail in the coffin, testimony from someone who knew Emerald better than anyone else, her own sister. In a Reddit post, she confirmed what the internet had suspected. Yes, Huntington's disease ran in their family, but no, Emerald had never shown signs of Tourette's as a child. According to her, Emerald had a long history of fabricating stories and stretching the truth. "I love my sister," she wrote, "but I don't agree with what they've done." With that, Emerald's reputation imploded. The carefully built persona of Tics and Roses was gone. No amount of backpedaling or denial could undo the fact that even her own family had publicly called her out. And soon, other creators, people who actually lived with Tourette's, would step forward to deliver their verdict on Emerald's performance. With the truth out in the open, the backlash hit like a tidal wave. Emerald deleted the Tics and Roses account, but it was already too late. Screenshots, re-uploads, and expose videos kept the scandal alive. Every attempt to pivot back to her yarn business or alternate TikTok accounts was met with a wall of anger and ridicule. The internet wasn't letting her escape. Worse still, the damage extended far beyond Emerald herself. Creators with real Tourette's began feeling the ripple effects. Viewers burned by Tics and Roses started accusing them of faking too. Comment sections filled with "This looks staged" and "You're just another scammer." For people already living with the stigma of a misunderstood disorder, Emerald's lies had made life even harder. But the biggest blow came from within the Tourette's community itself. A creator named Daps, someone who genuinely lived with the condition, posted a reaction video dissecting Emerald's clips. His verdict? The tics were exaggerated, staged, and completely unrealistic. The video skyrocketed, pulling in tens of millions of views, even more than Sunny's original exposé. That was the end. Whatever chance Emerald had at salvaging her online presence vanished. One by one, her remaining accounts disappeared, leaving behind nothing but a trail of broken trust and bitter resentment. Even though Emerald is gone, the damage she left behind is still very real. Today, countless creators with Tourette's are forced to defend themselves in every video. Some even get accused of being the next Tics and Roses just for raising awareness about their condition. What was once meant to build empathy has now turned into suspicion, all because one person chose clout over honesty. And that's the real tragedy here. It isn't just the downfall of a single TikToker. It's the way their lies reshaped how people view an entire disorder, leaving those who live with it to carry the weight of someone else's deception. But maybe that's the lesson. The internet loves a rise. It loves a fall even more, but the people caught in the middle, the ones who actually suffer from the conditions being exploited, they're the ones who pay the highest price. This has been another story from Tales Script, where we break down the internet's biggest controversies and the lessons hiding beneath them. If you found this story eye-opening, make sure to like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next tale we uncover. Because if there's one thing the internet never runs out of, it's stories.